Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion,
Comes a 3-time World Champion,
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong,
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series,
and many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or
Hello and welcome to Apex Racing TV and week 7 of the Radical Racing Challenge. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Austin Knight, Mark Tranter operating the cameras this evening, and we're here at Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, the new Grand Prix circuit for this round of the series. Austin, this place, or this new version of this track, divides opinion quite a bit. Some people love the added section, think it's good for racing. Some people absolutely despise it. But I think one thing for sure, we're going to see a mixture of corners around this circuit. Slow speed, high speed, and of course some long straights. So yeah, it could be quite an entertaining race.
Yeah, the Silverstone redesign was always a bit controversial because not a lot of people like changing everything, and you know, people argue about that all the time. But definitely new circuit has provided us with a lot of great racing throughout the race. These long straights help keep these cars together. These high-speed corners, very fun to watch cars battling side by side. And these slow sections, little opportunities for drivers to get a little cheeky, send it up the inside and have some fun.
Absolutely, yeah. There should be plenty of overtaking places around the circuits, so it should be good to see. Certainly qualifying not going to decide the race. Josh Cam, for the first time this season, up at the top. He had a dreadful start to the season, actually, to Cam, but I think he's got 4 consecutive top 4s, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I think so. Ahead of Alessandro Dardoni, who started off very strongly. Few podiums for him in the first few rounds, but yet to win a race. And maybe that's harmed him a bit. Aaron Bubba with a terrific performance last time out at Mosport, up there in 3rd. And Castles won at Bathurst, he's up there in 4th. Arturus Condelis has been Mr. Consistent, so too has Wittens. Freckleton has quietly gone up through the order, and Manu Realigo, of course, always a threat there in 8th position. Callahan and McHutchinson rounding out the top 10. We've had 6 rounds so far, so you think that's a maximum of 150 points for the drivers. And yet, of course, we've only got the top driver on 99. That's despite the fact that this point scoring system is quite a shallow one. The points only decrease slightly beyond each position. So really no one's had a perfect season, and there could be plenty of changes from here on in. It was a real good performance last time out, Austin, by Oran Park. I mean, he was pushed hard by Manu Largo, but I can't help but feel like if Barber can continue to perform that well, that he's going to be able to overhaul Cam and Dalladone by the end of the race, by the end of the season.
Yeah, it'd be great if Bawa can continue this hot streak going, because those top 3 spots just separated just slightly by 6 points between those 3 drivers. So if that could stay out through the rest of the season, it's going to be very, very entertaining into the final rounds of the Broadcaster Championship, as qualifying is currently going on.
Yes, and at the moment, as we're about to bring you live pictures of the circuit after the fantastic B-roll. Big thanks to, of course, the Apex Racing TV production guys for filming all of that. It's like absolutely spectacular. But we've now got normal shots of the track, and it's currently Kike Ming on his return. I don't think we've seen Kike all season long, but he is up on pole position. Not for long though. Van Herk goes to the top. McHutchinson now goes to the top. So these are the second lap times all being pumped in. And Andrew McKee, who we do not usually see, he's up there in second position. Streetley goes up to 6th. Can't wait to see his profile picture later on. And Kike Ming, slightly disappointing 8th position after all that, but after being at the front just a moment ago. You were saying, Austin, how close it was back at Mosport last time out. But I mean, those timings there, dare I say, it's even closer.
Yeah, Streetley is currently tied, I believe, with Castles up ahead of him.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, we got drivers separated by 1,000th, drivers separated by a 10th. Let's bring it over to the overall times. And you can see some driver, Castles and Streetley, 1,000th of a second separated off there using the 3 dots, but the gap is showing them having the same time, so I'm guessing it's just one did it before the other. Outside of Dalladone, currently way off the pace right now. He's been known to do this in his first lap, then get it into the final lap and jump up there, but I don't think he has the confidence that he had this of last week.
Well, he qualified great in aerial trucks yesterday.
Well, that's a truck. This car is downforce.
Yeah, well, he said he was very surprised when he qualified so well, and he was saying, well, I drove slowly there, but I went fast. It seems to have taken him 6 years maybe to figure out how to drive in qualifying, so if he puts it on pole here, then maybe this could be a revelation for Alessandro Dalladone. At least a top 8, I think it would be good. He gets 10th, but I mean, it's only half a second off pole.
This is true.
Not that far. But he'll have work to do. He has finished on the podium twice this season after starting outside the top 10. In fact, that's a fairly average qualifying for Dalladone, despite being the seed number 4 for this race. So we'll see what he can do. John McHutchinson then on pole position. He did win at Brands Hatch earlier on in the season, which was the other British round. So could he win another home race? That's a big tangent, honestly, but I'll try to draw the dots between it. Andrew McKee, who is a driver who I don't think I've ever seen on iRacing before. He's up there in second place, so quality drive there. Philip Van Herk, great qualifying for him. In third, there's Arturus Condelis, who just gets better and better studs. Arturus. Then it is Ant Castles, George Streetley, the Team Pure Motorsports drivers, Mike Busson, Kike Ming, John Aldridge, Alessandro Dalladone, Leon Hernandez. Eric Hanoi lines up in 12th. Then it's Michael Messenger, Chris Cash, great to see him back on the broadcast. Nigel Wedwood, Scott Lear, Alan Alberts, Cisco Romero, and Till Nordman. Just a couple more drivers to get onto the grid. Who's going to win this one, Austin? I think it's hard to call.
I really do not have any idea who's going to be get crossing the finish line first, or who's going to be leading the first lap out of here, or who's going to be leading halfway through this race. There's so many opportunities for drivers to make that overtake. We're going to find out very soon as the 5 lights are coming on.
Here we go then, McHutchinson versus McKee on the front row. And we are away racing for 13 laps here at Silverstone. It's a dreadful start for Van Herk, who's undone all that good work in qualifying. Contenders managed to move up into 3rd position. And Streetley also making a good move on Castles, as there's a big contact there. Busan and Ming. Shame to see Ming drop out straight away. I think Messenger may have got involved as well. Redwood is dropping down the order, maybe even Van Herk as well could have been involved again. Daldoni managed to get through it. And of course with no championship leader, Josh Cam around tonight, could be the championship lead tonight for Dardenne. He's up into 8th. Great start for Eric, up 6 places. Scott Lear, Austin, he's gone up half the order. He's up 9 places.
Yeah, Scott Lear absolutely rocketed through that start and just had everything dealt right. We got 3 wide heading into Brooklyn's right now. So number 8, and Van Herk trying to hold out around the outside and trying to regain all the spots that he lost after a dreadful start. I think he might have tried to go for the double clutch and then just had too much clutch in it, then unfortunately just, well, pulled a James May and just missed the clutch off the line.
Yeah, he was almost going backwards, a bit like James May, off that start, and lost a lot of paces. Redwoods is off, and Albert as well. Albert, who's a Joe who we don't usually see a whole lot of. Redwood we've seen a few weeks in a row now, and well, there are plenty of casualties, and of course this car is so brittle. No new damage model. It really does tear into pieces very easily, as Daldone is going to try to get past Lear, who is probably a bit out of position. Honestly, Scott's a quality driver, but starting down in 16th position, he has done remarkably well to get where he is. I doubt he'll be able to hold on to all of these places. Daldone, not with the move done yet, and this is a fairly risky place to be in a Radical SR8 in iRacing, because once again the cars are so brittle. He loses the car almost. Now he gets a hit from behind, and that's really held up Eric Hanoi, I think, who now gets sandwiched in between a couple of other cars and loses 2 places.
Yeah, Hanoi not happy about that. Got swarmed by Hernandez and Messenger up on his inside and outside right there, and Hanoi's got a little bit of front end damage and rear end damage now, and he's definitely going to be wishing for a much cleaner race and much smoother rest of the race right now, because he's probably had more contact than he ever wants. He's up 2 spots where he qualified, but very it's not a good start overall, especially if you make contact the first 2 laps. 13-lap race here, which seems short on paper until you realize on how big Silverstone is in scale.
Contenders, I believe, was ahead of Streetley and Castles, if I recall correctly, but he's lost that place. I don't know if he's made a mistake on this lap. I'll have a check at the sector times. But he is now 5th position in Contenders, so not good for him. And that damage for Hanoi, that is really going to be costing. We've already talked about the long straights we have at this circuit, and that will be costing him down the straights. It's going to be a long evening for him. He's got Aldridge, Nordman, Van Herk, all drivers who he'd back himself to beat, honestly, but yeah, you can see the train forming up behind him. Castle's struggling to drop Condelis at the moment, and Condelis might fancy his chances at the end of the home straight.
He's getting very creative with the line at Cops, using the track and then some, getting all the way out over the outside as well. And Condelis might be using that in, well, keep that noted, as John Aldridge is skipping past Hanoi, who is driving that very stricken car, which is probably just a boat down these straights. There's Nordman up the inside on Hanoi, round the outside. Then here comes Haruk, and Haruk and Hanoi make contact, and right off the exit, then Haruk's horrific race continues on, gets T-bone across the line. And Herbert's Radical is, well, looking very stricken right now and on rad as well.
Is another big incident, and that is such a tricky corner as well. I mean, maybe in single seaters it's a bit easier, but these Radical cars not necessarily super easy. That's tricky to go alongside, and yeah, contact between the lots of them. I'm surprised so many cars are still running on, so we've only had Ming retire from the race, but I thought we would have 4 or 5, honestly, at this stage. Certainly some drivers are going to be low on speed. I get a replay actually of how this one happened. In fact, this is a lap 1 replay. Unfortunately, I can't see this one still.
I think I can't see it either as well.
Well, you viewers are in for a treat then, because we're not quite sure what happened on that one. But
this is through cops. That was through cops. That was the lap 1 incident through cops. That was Albert getting just caught out by a car just going wide at cops and spinning, and well, he was up on the inside. At that time, it was the car on the outside's fault. Referencing something.
Yep.
I promised myself I wouldn't try to reference it, but I've already failed that. 3 laps in.
Congratulations. Yeah, we'll see how many more times we can get it later on. The 2 box are leading the way. Hutchinson and Key. And McKee that time, 10th of a second faster. Taladone, look at that. Much faster. That's a heavy advantage, but you can see just how close. I mean, all of them are top 6. Really, any of them can win at this point. Gap between the top 6 is 4 seconds, and you've got another 4 seconds back to Scott Lear. It is absolutely awesome. I mean, we've been broadcasting this series for a couple of seasons, 2.5 seasons on Apex Racing TV. We know the drivers so well, and honestly, as far as I know, all these guys are super evenly matched. McKee's a bit of a wild card. We haven't seen him too much out there. And maybe Streetley is a bit inexperienced, and maybe he's punching above his weight slightly at the moment, considering what we've seen so far this season. As he's changed his profile pick. Better or worse, Austin?
Well, oh gosh.
I thought that was Alan Partridge. Actually, I'm not sure if you know who that is, but yeah, Mark Partridge.
That was a great. Thank you for getting that up on the screen. Thanks, George. Can't wait to see what you get up next week. How to throw me off commentary? Too bad. But Alessandro Taladone, seeing his pace right now, closing in on Candelas and everybody else with that fastest lap, it is not a secret that his speed comes in the race and his qualifying, and he gets faster throughout the race than in qualifying. So, looking up the inside right there, just got the door shut by Ant Castles, and Alessandro, he sometimes gets known as Mr. Regression around here. Ant Castles got a big strike to the back of his car, so he's going to be a boat down the straight, and Alessandro is probably looking at that as a possible top 5.
I was just looking back at the replay a couple of laps ago before we saw George Streetley's portrait, and I saw that Candelas dropped the places, was up at 3rd position at the end of the Wellington straight, but then going into Brooklands, I think he ran wide on that one and allowed both Streetley and Castles past. He just made that move at Stowe on the last lap. Past Castles, so he's made back one of those places as Candelas. You can see he is pulling away slightly. I mean, whilst you do have the draft effect down the straights, you've got a lot of long radius corners which are really going to hurt you. Yeah, and I mean, a few of these are going to be real tricky. You can try to get out of the tracks of the car. It has such a wide circuit. There's lots of different lines, but yeah, it's still very tricky as we see a bit of a train now forming up behind Scott Lear.
Lear's also got the same incident, and same damage that Castles has with that rear end just getting a little bit damaged. So, Lear defending onto the inside. Messenger staying behind Lear, not going to try to go onto the inside. The inside just stays there behind him. Very smart, very safe. It's a long race, definitely a marathon, not a sprint here at Silverstone.
Yeah, doing that on the first lap would be absolutely bizarre, honestly. But would be tempting to do it on lap 5. Would be tempting, but Nappy's got a brain on him, so not risky it. And well, we'll see if Messenger is able to go the long way round. Also, Dardane just going past Castles. Look at the wide line, and Hernandez can get in a couple of places here. Can the Argentinian, the Puma, trying to pounce here?
Well, Leon had a good opportunity there. Just looking down the inside once more, a little bit of contact. He's turned him, and big contact. Hernandez, Messenger, Norman, Aldrich, and Lear. I think all of them made contact with Chris Cass. Probably come out the worst out of all of them. He's lost the most spots, but Lear being pushed around like a ping pong ball.
Yeah.
Alessandro getting up into 5th place. I spot a little bit of side damage on Alessandra's car. Did he make contact with Castles?
That is possible. He also came close to a few cars on lap 1. He's 5.3 seconds off the lead, so he's actually lost 1.3 seconds to McCutcheon in the last couple of laps. He's not going to win this race realistically as Dowd, but he could still maybe recover a podium. I think honestly contenders might be as far up as you can get. I don't know if we could get a replay actually of that incident on that last lap, as that is Nordman leaving past Messenger. Another driver who we don't usually see, but he's up 11 places now.
Yeah, a lot of drivers taking off this week. It's summer vacation, hopping up right now. I know a few of our regulars. Tommy Wittens, he's not hopping into this race. He's on summer vacation, so you know everyone just enjoying the sunshine out there and taking time off, watching the Olympics, or just chilling outside with the family. Which after last year was very relaxing to do. As Mike Bassan looks onto the outside of Lear. Lear staying onto the inside. Very late move by Lear into the brakes. See if Bassan can go for that switchback move. It's unable to. And Bassan once again just dancing in the mirrors. Ooh, almost getting into contact. He spins. It gets taken by Kosh, tagging him in the rear.
And Cash has just got past Lear because I think Lear's had a separate incident just ahead. So, oh, look at Dardone nearly running into the back of Kundelis there. That was extremely close between those two. Of course, Cash making a welcome appearance to this race. I haven't seen him in this strength of field race for too long, but of course he did race in the BSR Radical Winter Series.
This is Alessandro on Ant, and Alessandro already has that damage from there, but yeah, you get to see the difference in the pace between Ant and Alessandro, and Alessandro made that move very easily. And so much action has happened
behind as well. So sorry for interrupting us, but there was it's like 2 by 3, and I think it was all these guys who were super close. Northman ahead of Messenger and Hernandez. And Aldridge, he has caught up to these guys as well, or maybe he was always around them, I'm not sure. I haven't really noticed John all day, honestly. But he's got a fairly clean car, honestly, as John, at least on the front of it, so could have a bit more pace. He's certainly looking for a move here, but Beckett's into Chapel isn't exactly a great opportunity. And Messenger should be safe by the end of this straight, thanks to the draft from Nordman just ahead.
Yeah, Messenger could be safe, but he also has Hernandez and Aldridge right behind. Aldridge started in 9th place. Hernandez going down to the inside, either out of defensive move or a offensive move, thinking on Messenger. And here comes Aldridge on the outside. Ooh, he's trying for it, but Hernandez just put that car exactly where he needed to be. But you got to watch out for these radicals in this final section because this car loves getting loose there.
Yeah, it's fantastic through the high-speed corners, is this radical. Low-speed corners, not so much. It's a bit of a handful. It's not unpleasant to drive necessarily, but it's certainly not in its element, safe to say. Kundelis has done well to hold back Daldoni very impressively. By the way, thanks to Virtual Racing School for sponsoring this broadcast. Virtual Racing School with over 50 data packs for a variety of cars, from road racing to also oval racing. Stock cars and such are all included. In fact, you can get a data pack for the Radical SR8. There's no setup changes in this car, but you can get some driver tuition from Pablo Lopez, who is a stunningly good Radical SR8 driver. Won the official series championship a couple of seasons ago, and yeah, is absolutely a super driver. Could probably be fighting, probably would be in the lead, obviously, right now. Pablo, with the way that he was performing a couple of seasons ago, about 7k iRacing, I believe Pablo has got. So if you want to get some lessons from the best, check out Virtual Racing School to get better in this Radical SR8, along with a whole host of other cars as well. Aldridge just getting past Hernandez as Taladone darts to the inside of Gonzalez, but that hanging straight just wasn't long enough.
He's just looking down the inside right there. He wasn't darting. He's just trying to make Candelas a little bit scared because he is all over that bumper and gearbox of Candelas. Alessandro Taladone is very aggressive, and I think he's just playing games with him right now because this is probably the last position that he could fight for, because third place, second place, and first place are 3 seconds up the road from him.
Well, we've seen some problems so far in CU Club today.
Especially with Scott.
Another one there. It is another one. Lee, I think Lee has been involved in all the crashes there, honestly.
Yes.
And after that amazing start, he was up 9 places within 3 corners of the start. He drops to 18th.
Yeah, I think Scott Lear is going to be on the list that does not like this track.
Yeah, or maybe he doesn't like his fellow drivers with the racing that's happened around him. And, yeah, straightening that there. By the way, 1 second between the two leads, McCutcheon and Mickey, but it's not really got very close, and so we haven't been showing it. Streetley just dropping back slightly in 3rd position, and in fact McCutcheon was able to open up the gap by 1/4 of a second on that last tour of the circuit. So Mickey not making too much impression. This one is looking like the most likely move, and Taladone looks a bit closer this time, taking all the curve. I mean, he's all 4 wheels off the circuit there, but of course iRacing aren't putting down slowdowns, so it's not a problem, and I think he'll have a great chance by the end of this straight this time still.
He's got a good run, but where's Cadella's going to be putting his car? Is just going to be looking onto the outside. Here comes Taladone all the way to the inside, getting onto the curbs even more, but Cadella's using all that track to his advantage, just taking it very easy and just closing that door on Alessandro Taladone with, as they conclude lap 9, start lap 10. And we're getting very close to the end of this race already, and Alessandro is, well, I think he's going to start giving the pressure even more to Candelas.
This part of the circuit, Abbey, and then Farb. I think it's Farb. Not quite flat out in this car, so you can't quite use it as a proper slipstream area, unlike maybe the Formula 2 where it's flat out. You just get closer and closer. Instead, it's another one of those ones where the turbulent air just kicks in, and at least in the first part of that, doesn't really look like he's going to be able to get past into Brooklyn. So it's all about Stowe signaling, where he's quick, and of course probably Vale and Club just after that as well. Another shout out to SDK Gaming, provides our amazing overlay. You can see all the data that is presented to you viewers. Also got the NASCAR overlay, which I didn't realise it was quite so good until I watched back the broadcast last night in the Apex Racing League NASCAR Trucks series, and that's got lots of driver biographies. Had my beautiful bass, our producer's Mark Jansen's beautiful bass on as well, and yeah, loads of customization stuff, live timing, and yeah, great for broadcasting as well. So do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk for more details, as Taladone was getting very skirmishing out there, Austin.
Yeah, he admitted me going a little bit crazy, even though that's not that hard to do. He got into the grass on the entry to Cops and had a big hit of oversteer. He saved it, and he's right back on the gearbox against Dallas. Not looking up the inside. Here he goes, showing his move very late. He's alongside of Candelas, and Taladone almost making contact at the exit. Candelas holding it around the outside. Here comes Alessandro Taladone looking up to the inside. He sold him the dummy. Candelas might have looked like he bought a little bit of that. This is Alberts and Romeo.
Romeo just had a very poor 3rd sector. There are 5 sectors of this lap, so you know, dart at the map to see where sector 3 is, somewhere in the middle, I guess. And so Albert, I think, is probably going to be able to overtake fairly soon. Taladone looks particularly close on Candelas though at the moment. It gaps back down to 1/10 of a second, and that's why I was saying how he can't really get close around this part of the circuit. Not this time. He is all over the back end, and now Brooklands is a possibility this time.
Well, he is particularly hounding Candelas right now. Candelas' best move is to stay on the outside, give himself the inside line heading into Woodcock. That's what he's going to do. Here goes Alessandro Taladone onto the inside, but Candelas stays onto the outside now. Now he's onto the inside. Taladone forced to get back behind him, And we got a good old fight right here. Cadelas, Daldane, the battle for 4th.
Well, this is really respectful racing from the two of them. Daldane leaving a little bit too much space, honestly, through Brooklands. Maybe expecting Cadelas to be a bit tighter. He did just compromise his exit as Daldane gets a slide. That was definitely a slide. And at this stage of the race, the tyres aren't too bad in this car, but when they do go just by a little bit, the rears feel horrible, and just mid-corner you can get the weirdest kind of loss of traction, loss of grip, and that might well be what these guys are feeling at this point in the race. They're not as close this time, and he has gone for the same move a couple of times already, heading into Stowe, just diving down the inside, but yeah, he's not as close this time. The draft effect in this car, we've spoken about it a few times this season, so much smaller than it was last season. Daldane would have been passed, I'm sure, within a lap, and maybe Contenders would have been able to stay in his draft, honestly, last season. This season, not so easy. So this race is going all the way to the penultimate lap, and again, Daldane is very close across the line.
He's nearly bump drafting him. Here he goes, looking up the inside, selling a dummy, selling another dummy. And Cadelas is not buying any Italian cookies right now. Daldane unable to sell that dummy, go up the inside. Still behind Cadelas, looking for that draft. Big strike of the curb by Alessandro, and he's got to watch out on these curbs because that could really upset the car. Cadelas, Daldane separated by half a second. That did affect Alessandro a little bit, but that draft is going to get him right back up there, and I feel like it's going to be a white flag fight between these two.
Yeah, not throwing the surrender though. Another great bit of commentary right there. And yeah, within 0.3 of a second is Daldane, but yeah, just dropping a little bit further back. By the way, another final shout out. So you see the cool shots of the cars going through Woodcut to Apex Racing Academy, who do 29 data packs for road and oval racing. Lap guides, one-on-one coaching, group coaching sessions as well, all supplied by Apex Racing Academy for a variety of cars. We all use it over at Apex Racing TV and Apex Racing League. Super recommended. The setup sync technology is so easy to use. Downloads all the setups, all the replays straight into your file directory without you having to lift a finger. Daldane is closer this time. He will definitely go for the move. But it's the same problem again, and I credit to Arturus here. He is not giving an inch.
Yeah, he's not giving an inch at all. Defending way onto the inside now. Alessandro's going to try and take him around the outside, the side off the exit. Or are we going to see another incident here? And we are not. Daldane, Cadelas, side by side across the line. White flag in the air. One more lap here, and Cadelas still stays ahead.
We can only hope that we get a similar position this time in one lap, with the two absolutely nose to nose at the start-finish line. Streetley's going to be a comfortable third position. If it weren't for this fighting, probably Contenders and Daldane would have been close right now, but instead they are absolutely miles back. And again, Daldane forcing Contenders offline, but you know, in these radical cars with such a wide loop corner as it is, you really don't need the turn, you don't need all the check, they wouldn't be using it in qualifying anyway, and so it's really not putting down Contenders too far offline. Now Contenders is slightly offline, just missing the apex slightly through Brooklands. Castle's really just fingers crossed for an instant between these two.
Oh, he's got the best seat in the house, sitting 6th place. If something happens between them, as well, Silverstone has been led to some great side-by-side races, but also some big incidents in a few of these corners around the track, especially this one. Castles really could be looking at a surprise top 5 or maybe a top 4 if something happens between these two, but they are racing extremely hard. Last lap looking like it's for the championship right now. Alessandro skipping across the grass, across the curbs and everything, just trying to get any advantage on Cadelas he can. Where is Cadelas going to defend? Where is Daldane going to go? I think Cadelas might have picked up a little bit of rear end damage from Daldane. Closes the door on entry. 3/10 separates them. I think that might have been the move that secured Cadelas, as John McHutchison takes the win.
his second race win of the season and maybe brings himself back into championship contention. It is a brilliant drive from McCutcheon as they have collided. Deladoni down into 6th position. It is Castles who takes home 5th. And, well, we'll have to get a replay of what on earth happened right at the end. Nordman finishes a terrific 7th place, and Messenger just about holding off Aldridge. It was close. In fact, Nordman had an awful final lap, but I think just cruising near the end. Cash was able to pass Hernandez on the last lap of the race, and the rest of the drivers, several of which with Darren crossing line Van Herk after a brilliant qualifying up in 3rd place, finishing in a distant 15th with the various problems that he had. But yeah, shame that it ended like that. Austin, for all we know, it could have been a netcode until we get the a replay. But yeah, brilliant battles between those guys. I mean, we focused a lot on it, but I mean that really is how you race in this rallycross, right?
Yeah, that is definitely how you want to have a race here. Close all the way to the end. Let's watch this final few corners by Alessandro and Candelas. Candelas had such a great lead. Where did Alessandro go? Did he go up to the inside, or did he just miss the car braking point? There was no contact between it. I think he just spun it. Slow down?
Wow.
Well, that was very anticlimactic.
I mean, I doubt he would have picked it up at Stowe. He would have had to take in so much grass. So,
Well, he was going across all the curbs, pretty much had all 4 wheels off the circuit right there through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. That I think that's where he picked up the slowdown from.
Yeah, must have done, because yeah, I'm just looking back at the replay, and yeah, you didn't go too tight at Stowe, didn't go too wide at Stowe. So yeah, and so he was lucky not to get a post-race penalty. Yeah, we can get the results up, and Dazone does keep that 6th position, so he served that right at the last. Did the card number 4, but it was John McCutcheon who wins out. He usually wins very exciting races. I mean, Okayama was his first win last season, and then Brands Hatch, and usually he has to do it by a good qualifying, then kind of defends the race. It was just super quick, you know. Maybe Candelas or Dade, maybe they were faster, but probably not. I think McCutcheon just the fastest driver out there, and a very well-deserved victory. Congratulations to the Scot getting 3 wins in this series over the course of 12 rounds. Is very impressive stuff. Andrew McKee, hopefully we see more of him around this for the rest of the season, because he pushed McCutcheon all the way, only 2 seconds short of the race win in the end. George Streetley was in 3rd position, and man, I hope we get an interview with him in a bit. Arturas Candelas was in 4th position, holding off Alessandro Dardone, and Castles benefited from that one to move up into 5th. Ahead of Dardone. Then it was Till Nordman, another driver who we hope to see more of in the future. He really maximised that result, a great 7th place. Then it was Michael Messenger, John Aldridge, and Chris Cash. Leon Hernandez was in 11th place. In fact, Cash was able to pass Hernandez right at the end for 10th position. Nigel Redwood was in 12th. Then it was Mike Busson, Eric Hanoi, Philip Herc, Alan Albert, Cisco Romero, and Scott Lear. They were the only retirees. As we watched back at the start, I wonder if we could maybe get the blimp view of this race start, because it was absolutely crazy to try to identify what happened. But yeah, Kike Ming was the only retiree, which is frankly a miracle with the instance that we had early on. Yeah, you see really some of the carnage that ensued down into turn 1, but not necessarily normally a problematic turn 1. I mean, every turn 1 can have problems, Austin, but it's not like a Watkins Glen or anything. Things just really kicks off there.
Yeah, turn 1 just had one really notable incident at the start of the race involving 3 cars that, well, unfortunately got into each other. The cops had that big lap 1 incident, but other than that, it's been one-on-one contact with cars and also solo spins as well. But yeah, lap 1 around here really set off a lot of fireworks.
We have got some interviews. Delightful. So first up, we are going to have a chat with our race winner. And it's for a 3rd time, the 2nd time this season as well. John, congratulations. What is it about these British circuits. That's now that's another win for you this season.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. I don't know. I've just put in a lot of practice this week. I've been on holiday this week, so I've had plenty of time to practice.
When I was driving around this circuit last season, I really struggled. I don't know if it was maybe like the surface of the track was a bit slick, but I just felt like there was barely any grip, particularly around, like Brooklands and Luffield, for example. How did you find the car around this place?
I thought it was great this week. I thought the setup was really nice this week. I didn't like most sport last week, but this setup's been good this week, I think.
And Andrew McKee, of course, was right on your tail all the way. Have you raced Andrew in the past, and how was it dealing with kind of that gap back to him?
No, that's the first time I've raced against Andrew. I was in a race earlier on against him, but I started from the pits, so I knew he was a fast driver. But we spoke after the race, and he says within a second you get too much wash, and the draft doesn't compensate for that. So it's kind of a hard to overtake this track.
Definitely, yeah, we really saw that further down the order. It was quite a problem for some of the drivers. Looking ahead to next week, it's Oran Park. Talking of tricky to overtake circuits, have you ever driven this car around that circuit before?
No, not this car. No, the only car I've driven around that was the Pro Mazda. Very, very tight, very, very short as well, isn't it? So there'll be virtually no chance of overtaking. I know turn one's tricky, so there could be a lot of mistakes into turn one. But looking forward to it. It's always good to go to a new track and have to learn it.
Definitely, and of course, with tonight's result, you got another 25 points for the championship. You think that you could maybe challenge for the title, because we had no Josh Cam tonight, we had no Aaron Barber, Alessandro didn't score too well. I mean, you're probably not too far off the top now.
Well, I haven't been able to race the last 3 weeks, I think. 3-4 weeks. Just the real life, I guess. So I should be okay now. I think I should be able to race the rest of the races this season. We'll see where I end up at the end of it. I'll give it my best.
Absolutely, that's what we like to hear, John. Congratulations on the race win tonight. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yes, I'd like to give a shout out to the UK and Ireland Radical Race League on a Thursday night. The boys in that league are a great bunch of guys, and they're pushing everyone to the limit, so it helps on a Friday night. So thanks to the guys.
Awesome. Thanks for having a chat with us, John, and best of luck next week.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Bye-bye.
John McHutchinson there with his second race win of the season. Austin, I think we have another interview waiting.
Yeah, we have the man who is trying to bring out all the fights and, well, really, the race, the person we were watching for the last 5 laps, Alessandro Dalladone, with a big fight for 4th place, unfortunately finishing in 6th place. What looked to be he had a slowdown that he picked up in the last lap. Alessandro, what happened there?
Yeah, I got a slowdown. I didn't know that slowdown was there. I've been cutting the corner for the whole race. I guess I cut it too much on the last lap.
Was that in Maggots, Beckett's Chapel, or the final 2 corners?
Those corners there, I have no idea how they called, but yeah, I think they should be Maggots and Beckett.
You were hopping over the curbs and everything, and I made a reference to it, but yeah, you were really extending the track limits. How hard was it to get aside to Cadelis and try to make a move on him?
We've been racing hard all season long. I love racing with Arturas. We've been. I try always to make clean passes. Then, unfortunately, here is very difficult to pass, and I tried my best, but I wasn't able. So I tried my last chance on the last lap, and in the end, I ended up losing another spot. But hey, I had fun. Who cares? I just want to say, as I said already to Ant, sorry for that. Trying to pass at Maggots and Beckett's, I guess, because I was too eager to go by and try to catch P3 since I was having a good comeback. But hey, sometimes you should just be patient and not try your way through every corner like I did today. But you know, I'm having fun. 6th place, 4th place doesn't change much.
All right, thank you, Alessandro. Before we let you go, anyone who want to thank?
Yeah, thanks to Ipcheck Insurance, obviously, for always having my back. Thankfully, I haven't needed their help this season. So I'm really, really proud of myself for finishing all the races without a DNF. And also to Kairos Competitions, who they haven't still done me a livery, which is quite shameful. But thanks for the support.
I'm pretty sure they're happy with your performance right now. We'll see you next week at Oran Park.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
It certainly does feel like it's going to be a lot of fun. Over to Sam.
Yep, thanks Austin. Yeah, quick word actually on Oran Park for the next round, seeing that we've still got a little bit of time remaining. Yeah, you can't overtake there, Austin. I mean, it's like when modern F1 cars go to Monaco, where you think going into the race, okay, there's not going to be any overtaking. I mean, surely that's the same case. I mean, where are you meant to overtake? I mean, turn one maybe after that fairly long straight, but you know, it's a kink there. You can't go side by side. So
It's going to be a fight in the braking zone through the sweeper and Coca-Cola corner, and you got a pretty short run up from Ricardo curve to sweeper. The track's only 1.6 miles, so when you look at the track map, it was like, oh, they could just get this on the old cars. You could definitely get up into the draft and look what up the inside of the reverse cops at the sweeper, but this entire track, it's going to be all about qualifying and all about I gotta say, turns 3, 4, 5, and 6 are going to be very, very tightly contested. They're all pretty slow. They have massive bumps on the inside, so if you're risky enough, you could make a move right there, but it is going to be so hard in these opening laps, especially when you go over the bridge. It's going to be very tight, very tightly contested, and oh man, I hope Nim is ready for a action-packed week next week.
Definitely as well. It's a free circuit, so I expect to see plenty of rookies out there. But don't let that deter you from taking part in the Radical Racing Challenge. This is a league on iRacing. Apologies, this is an official series on iRacing. And it is, I believe it's C class. So just get your safety rating up if you're a D licensed driver, and you can take part in this fantastic official series. This car is so much fun to drive. It's a fixed setup championship, and so it's fairly, there's not much work to do when it comes to kind of preparing, you know, to do a few laps of each circuit. It is a fairly unique car in its handling. You know, it's not like a single seater. It's not like any of the other prototypes we have in iRacing. So maybe that will take you a little bit of time, but give it a spin around one of the circuits, and you can really enjoy this car for everything that it offers. Raceability is pretty good as well. Sure, it's a bit delicate, but it's an absolute joy to go wheel to wheel. And so do check out the Radical Racing Challenge, of course, and a fantastic community as well, where you can get kind of tips from other drivers and yeah, have a chat with them after you've had a race. Big thanks once again to Apex Racing Academy, to SDK Gaming and to Virtual Racing School for sponsoring this series. And of course, if you have enjoyed this broadcast, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to Apex Racing TV. Also check out our Twitch channel as well, twitch.tv/Apex Racing TV, where we broadcast the majority of our events, not necessarily all of them, so do make sure to subscribe to Apex Racing TV as well. But if you prefer to watch on Twitch, then certainly follow on that platform as well. In fact, I'm just being told that no Twitch anymore. I thought some of our events were still being on Twitch, but yeah, certainly do subscribe to Apex Racing TV to catch all of our broadcasts. We've got plenty more coming up in the next few days. Apex Racing Academy Formula 3 tomorrow, and also the return of the Apex Racing League GT Championship on Friday. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Austin Knight and from Mark Tranter, we are going to say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala,
and Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke,
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong,
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series,
and many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.